We know why we're here. To stand behind all who serve.
To deliver the technologies vital to freedom.
To help carry hope to those in need.
Around the globe, the people of Boeing are working together for what matters most.
That's why we're here.
You talk too much. I can't believe the things that you say.
Carl Levin, Frederick Kagan,
Jim Webb, Lindsey Graham, Mike Murphy, Bob Schrum,
Stephen Hadley,
Stephen Hadley,
Stephen Hadley,
Lamar Alexander,
Trent Lott, Jack Reed, Joe Biden,
Richard Lugar, John Warner.
No, we very respectfully call on the president to make proposals to the Congress next fall such that on the anniversary, which is October, on that anniversary, we can hopefully come together in the Congress and revise that resolution.
Well, I'm not certain how we compel a change in strategy. My own common sense leads me to believe the president, probably Mr. Hadley, General Petraeus, are all trying to think through.
So you could live with that, with a resolution to that effect?
No, because what we've already got through legislation adopted last May was a very orderly process adopted by the Congress, signed by the President, which says it begins in September. I think what's important is to recognize in some sense what they're not saying. These two men are not calling for an arbitrary deadline for withdrawal or a withdrawal schedule.
When they re-enlist in the highest numbers anywhere else in the military,
this is one thing I really take objection to is politicians.
Let them win. Let them win. They want to win. Let them win.
Is politicians who try to put their political views into the mouths of soldiers. That we should have been to Iraq in the first place. Have you ever been to these? I've covered 2 wars as a correspondent.
Have you been to Iraq?
I have been to Afghanistan
Have you been to Iraq and talked to the soldiers?
You haven't been to Iraq.
Have you ever been to Iraq? I've been there 7 times.
You go see the dog and pony shows.
I've been there as a reservist. I have been there, and I'm going back in August.
I've been.
The bigger problem, I think, here for Democrats, and that exchange sort of really brought it to light here, is what do voters see of all this?
They try to make it out in their own self-assessment that this is a glass which is half full or rather than being half empty. As a matter of fact, this is a cup or a glass with a big hole in the bottom. Of course there's a problem in Iraq with terrorism through al-Qaeda, but it's a growing problem because of our presence.
But no, I don't think the strategy's working. I think we need a new strategy. I think most senators do, and the country does, and I wouldn't be surprised if the president does. If Harry Reid would play less politics and the president would be more flexible, we could have 60 votes in the Senate for the Baker-Hamilton recommendations.
General Petraeus made it very clear to me that he's prepared to report before September, that he is accumulating the information, the data.
What the president said. I mean,
no, I agree with him. I do think we've got to be careful. No, there is a role for Congress to be involved, but the role, the way to cut off the funds is to cut off the funds.
The White House kind of woke up this week and realized that and said, okay, we're playing for time. It's all about time. Hang on another 2 months. We can do it.
So in that case, gridlock is the president's
Gridlock is his friend. But I'm also curious, and I'd be interested in your opinion on this, isn't it also the Democrats' friend?
Only 9% of the Democrats in the primaries have made up their mind. Everybody knows that. Everybody in politics knows that, including the press, number one. Number two, we're doing very well in Iowa, New Hampshire, and the early states in organizational structure. And number three, this is going to be about a campaign about ideas, not money.
Yesterday, your former governor, Jim Gilmore, dropped out of the presidential race, suggested he might want to run for Senate if you decide to retire. Are you any further along in your planning?
I've indicated September, and I'll do it in an orderly way. I don't need 2 years to seek re-election, but I wanted to spend, certainly this summer, I'm headed to Iraq. My focus now is this war.
They had a very tough decision to make in the McCain campaign about 14 months ago. Do they run the insurgency campaign that was a lot of fun last time and almost won, but lost? Or do they try the big invincible frontrunner campaign of all the expense and overhead and pressure that has, which doesn't really fit McCain right, but it's the campaign that normally wins the nomination?
Tim, I think there's probably a 40% chance he gets out of this thing in the fall when the Iraq debate comes up and says, this is going to be my mission now.
And I think it's very dangerous to call this the third term of Bill Clinton. There's one other thing. The morale of the Republicans.
Who's done that? Who's called it the third term?
Me.
Nice try, Novak.
Talk too much. I can't believe the things that you say.
Brought to you by the Boeing Company.